Hello, everyone. I'm the Fiery Diva, and welcome to the Hot Flash Room. What is the Hot Flash Room? It's a 10-minute commentary where I just say what's on my mind, and just like a hot flash, it just all of a sudden it just goes away. Who's the Fiery Diva? Country girl from the South, born and raised in the South. I have a radio and television background. However, you will hear that country dialect come out every now and then. Okay, yes, yes, yes. Country girl for life. Okay, those who know and have entered the Hot Flash Room, y'all do know it's all about the clips. That's what gives me my charge. And today's commentary is a different set.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
All right, and I know you guys are probably baffled. Okay, what Diva got going on now? What is she really talking about? Just listen to somebody count down. Okay, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, this commentary is a different set. That's what it's called because yes, Diva has been on her genealogy quest. Okay, for quite some time. I'm gonna say. I'm going to say about 4 years now, and just discovered so many different things. Very excited about it. And I'll tell you who I really admire from afar, okay? Henry Louis Gates. If you are listed to this little girl from the South, oh, country girl. Oh, I so admire you, sir. And I admire what you do. But yes, a different set. And I want to talk about this because the reason I did all those numbers, because do you know how many cousins you actually have? The answer would be no. And that's really sad. It really is, but it's not your fault, okay? It's really not. I mean, we were messed up pretty bad. I mean, you know, and not to harp on slavery or anything, but it is the God's honest truth because we really don't know who we are and who we're related to. And that's so unfortunate. And so I have learned so many things. And I just want you guys to keep this in mind, okay? Please, please remember, okay, yes, you have grandma and you have great grandma. Okay, but you've got to understand that great grandma, she had a grandma, she had a mama, she had a great grandma, a granddaddy, and even big daddy, granddaddy. He had a daddy, he had a mama, he had a big mama. Okay, on down the line. Okay, so you can see how many cousins. Yes, you have a first cousin. Yes, you have a second cousin. Yes, you have a third. And then we'll say, we're so I mean, but this is what we have been taught though. Oh, well, fourth cousins, it don't even matter. Okay, yes, it does, because you still share some DNA somewhere down the line. Okay, yes, you'd be surprised at how far that DNA will actually stretch. Okay, so I wanted to just talk to you guys about it, but I want to talk about, let's just talk about cousins. Okay. Yes, because of course, like I said, we're very familiar with our mother and our father. We're familiar with their siblings, which makes us cousins, and we're very familiar with that. However, it goes so far beyond our parents and our grandparents. And we'll start out with the surnames, excuse me. We'll start out with the surnames, and surnames were originally introduced to distinguish individuals and largely became hereditary over time. The underlining and assumptions that historically a surname was passed down through generations from common male ancestries in the most Western cultures. Okay, now let's go here. Common names. Okay, common surnames are Smith, Jones. Okay, those are common surnames. And I mean, so many people think, oh, well, that's a different set. And something like if you lived like in different geographical areas, you may say, hey, they're from Iowa. Okay. And my family, they originated down south. And so, yes, that may very well could be. But if you're in the same, geographical area, okay, let's say that you guys, well, they're a county over. Oh, well, you know what? That's a different set. Maybe two counties over. Maybe, I don't know, not even counties right now. It may be cities. Okay. Yeah. Well, no, well, that's a different set. And that's what we were raised to believe, that, hey, it's a different set. And like I said, the ancestors, they knew what they knew. And so we didn't know any better. But no, it is so much more to this thing. Okay. And I just wanted to talk with you guys and give you a little, little insight on these names, and want to encourage you to search your ancestors. Okay. You may be related, because now here's where a lot of us get confused oftentimes. And I'm going to tell you, it's so funny because a lot of our names were given by occupations. Yes, carpenter. Yes, okay. Or like in an area, hill, river, I mean, it's so crazy. It's insane once you dig deep here. But let me just say this. I know that I've been on my genealogy quest, and I'm just learning. Okay, I just found out who my fourth time's grandfather was, and I was like, my goodness, and it was so funny because I was in the family business about a week or two ago, and I had some other younger family members with us, and and of course one of my children that was helping. And it was so funny because they're guys, my sister and I, and a lot of the women I've learned in my family were boy moms. Yes, we have boys. But they were like, you know what? I'm taking myself out. I'm just gonna take myself out the dating game. It looked like I might be related to a lot of people, and yes, sir, you just may be if they're in this geographical area. And so I want to encourage you guys, go through. You may have to go to ancestry.com or whatever, but do some digging. Don't be fooled by the surnames. And that's what we go by. Oh, well, yeah, the surnames, but you will get confused. Those surnames will mess you up because, okay, yes, okay, I know my mom is one thing, my dad's another thing, but people move off. They go off in other areas, yes, and they have children. And when they marry, and that's what changes the names, and on and on and on. And I'm related to some people. I mean, my goodness, I just found out I'm related to some people. I'm linked to people that I actually attended school with. Yeah, really. I was like, are you serious? But I mean, hey, I went back to the historical records. Hey, and I told you a lot of our answers, if you go to the cemeteries, I'm telling you, it's a lot of answers in those cemeteries, because I have like relatives that's in the cemetery right here in the area in which my father was raised. I'm serious. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to tell you another thing too. Goodness, where my father is from, let me tell you how complicated it can get, because where he's from, that's actually where my mother's family actually settled. Good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing. But the reason I hit the shame button, because that's something we did not know. And something that separated it, the only thing that separated was, I guess you could say, when the dams were released, and they flooded out a lot of towns and all that kind of stuff, so now it's just a river. But it wasn't always like that. And so a lot of the people would walk across to another county. And that's how my mom, that's how her family ended up over there. And I mean, it was crazy when I found this out. That was insane. And I was talking with my mom and dad, and I was like, okay, well, now, mama, your family actually settled here. Like, goodness, well, let's just be honest with you. Just to be honest, slavery. It was during slavery, but they were the first ones who were here. And it was actually a white female that owned my mother's side of the family. Yeah, it is what it is. So you need to know your history, okay? And we don't know. And so you don't know who you're related to. It's not that you, well, of course, we don't want you sleeping with family members, but it could very well go there. I'm serious about this, okay? However, not only that, you could be fighting with family. You could be rivaling with family members, not speaking, not fooling with folks. You don't know who you related to. Cut out this foolishness. And so the reason I'm going to tell you what I have in mind. And actually, this is what I'm going to do. It's going to be this fall. But I am going to link up with family members that I've never even met. Okay, and I'm reaching out to them on Facebook, and we're actually now a commonality. That's what it's the surnames, of course. That's where it's starting. But I'm going to tell you, here in the area in which my mom, where she's from, see, there were three brothers. There were three brothers who actually owned the land which my mom and her parents and grandparents, where they grew up, they actually owned it. So we are linked somehow or another. Maybe I know who my grandfather, I know which one of the brothers my grandfather was linked to, but we all share that same surname. So that's what kinds of give that at least gives us a head start. But I want to do that because, especially in the Black community, we're so divided right now, and we're so I mean, we just don't like each other. For what? We don't know why. We just don't. And so, if we would just come together and find out, okay, you know what? That was my grandmama's name. And you know what? We get to dig in, and that's what we have to do. We're going to have to dig deep. When you dig deep, you're going to find out you may be just related to that person that you're rivaling with. And I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, it's getting kind of scary. It's getting kind of scary. And I'm getting like my little younger relatives, my male relatives here. Diva might just take herself out the dating game, period. Okay, yes, because I'm running across so many names that just sound so familiar. Okay, and I told you about the story about the guy that didn't even want to be related to me. And yes, we are related, sir, on down the line. Yes, we are. I have proof of that. So, but I just wanted to, I wanted to just do this commentary, a different set. And in some cases, it's no such thing as a different set. If you are in this area, okay, if you're in the same geographical area, ain't nobody left. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. And so you can't just always say, oh, well, you know what? That's a different set. That's a different set. Yes, yes, it may be. If like I said, if you're somewhere here and they're there and you all share the same surname, like I said, such as a, carpenter or something like that, yes, that could very well be a possibility. But let's just say it, let's just put it this way though. Okay, but on